Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry. They sat down right beside me, so there's nothing I can do about it. All righty. All right. Welcome, welcome. We're live, it looks like. So, hello, everybody. I am Corey Vance, business and wealth strategist. And this is my good friend Sam Boardman, Samantha Boardman, from all the way from Australia. It's morning where she is, Monday morning. It's Sunday evening, of course, where I am. So I just wanted to say thank you for joining me here live, Sam. It's great to have you again. And it's going to be great to chat with you. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm excited too. Thank you for the opportunity.
Awesome. You're welcome. And we're streaming live to your Facebook. So hello, Sam's Facebook group. And
Hello.
we're streaming live to my my Facebook, my personal Facebook page, my LinkedIn feed, and my my YouTube account. So we got 4 live channels going here. So awesome. And I do apologize, Sam. As Sam mentioned, I'm sorry, my throat all of a sudden. We have some smoky wildfire here. So shortly after, just before I got started, a group sat down at the table next to me. I'm on a patio because it's 25 degrees here right now at 7:15 p.m. So I apologize for any incidental noise you're going to hear, but that's the way the world works nowadays, right?
That's right. So, nobody wants perfection.
That's right. Exactly. So Sam, we met because I was holding a online summit back in June, and you put your hand up and said, "Hey, I'd like to be a speaker on that." And we had a chat, and I said, "Absolutely, let's do that. You sound fantastic, even with your British/Australian accent." And what you offer sounds amazing, is what I meant. And so I was excited to have you on there. And as I got to know more about you and what you offer, I'm even more excited to chat with you and to partner with you and see what we can do to help each other. Especially I want to help you, in any way I can, right? So, so for all those of you as well, I just want to say shout out to those of you who stopped Sam on the street and said, "Hey, were you on that thing in Canada?" I'm just tickled pink by that. So that's so awesome. Yeah. So
it's good.
Yeah. So tell me if you can, or if you will, you were on the summit, just for everyone that wasn't there. How was that from your perspective? And what has happened for you since, like, what's been going on?
So the summit, as we know, I just replied to one of you did a shout out to the universe for speakers, and I think it's one of those where you say, one of those, I mean, I am a bit of a try anything once kind of girl, but it's definitely one of those say yes and worry about it later. I certainly didn't factor in the time difference. So, but no, it was very good. I'm very, very pleased that you agreed and that we get along and that you accepted what I do, because it's interesting what I do, because I have different responses to what I do, because obviously I help people with their day-to-day finances and budgeting, which, nobody likes the word budget. But so it's pretty much like the basic, like I help people pay bills on time every time. And then once they've got that organized, they sleep better at night, and then they go, right, what else can I do? What's extra? How can I build a bit of wealth? What can I save? Shall I pay my mortgage off quicker? Shall I put some money to super or pension or whatever you want to call it? So yeah, it was really good to partner with you at the summit. And yeah, I got a Canadian client out of it, which was fantastic. So somebody did do the call, and yeah, so it was brilliant. And I think we need to budget or create a spending plan in whatever currency we're in. We're all paying bills, we're all getting along, we're all trying to get through the cost of living crisis and whatever the governments and life is throwing at us, at any one time. They still want us to pay our bills, right? No matter what they put them up to.
That's right. Absolutely. Yeah. Unfortunately, we have to pay our bills eventually, right? So awesome. So yeah. And you mentioned, how you help people get to, or show them how to get their spending in line, right? And of course that creates some financial margin in their life. And you shared it. I'll ask you again to share that story, but you shared that story at the summit about one of your clients who had done that. And, but I love that because you made a good point in one of our conversations that it's not how much money you earn, it's what you do with that. And I forget exactly how you worded it the first time, but it was so funny the way you worded it.
It's my tagline, Corey. It's my tagline. It's not about the income, it's about the outcome.
There you go. Exactly. Right. So so you could make $500,000 a year, but if you spend $500,000 and $10 a year, you're in the hole. So you help and show people how to get their brain around the idea of budgeting in a way that really works for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I love that. Yeah. So you told the story about I think it was a single mother who was on Facebook, confessing that she was having a terrible time overspending. I forget exactly how you put it, but can you tell that story again for those that?
I think the lady that thought she needed, I've got lots. Was it the lady that thought she needed the second job?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So a lady put on, because I'm in lots of, as we know, there's a group for everything on Facebook, but there's a lot of budgeting groups in Facebook, particularly in Australia. We've got lots of, and a majority of my clients are single mums. I mean, I've got all walks of life, but this majority are single mums. Anyway, this lady had put she was basically asking for help, and she said, "I'm convinced I need a second job. I'm living beyond my means, but I also have 3 kids. I'm getting divorced or trying to get divorced, and I'm trying to navigate things by myself. And I've got school fees and children and food and bills and, growing up kids and shoes to buy." And she said, "I honestly think I need a second job." And she sort of told herself that she needed a second job. And she was asking for tips in this Facebook group because she had no time for the second job because she had 3 children. She lived down south in Adelaide, but she worked up north. So she spent a lot of time traveling to and from work. And then she was the taxi of mum and dad because she was mum. And she was a taxi for her growing up kids, at evenings and weekends. She said, "I don't know what to do." Anyway, so I said to her, "Look, I'll buy you a coffee or a drink and we'll talk about it. Whether, we'll just talk about it, see what we can come up with." And we chatted about what I do. And sometimes it's not about, A plus B equals that. Like sometimes you're just like listening, and I told her what I did. But at the end of the day, she may very well have needed to get a second job. Let's not make any bones about it. But she listened to what I said, and she listened to what I do. She asked all the questions, and she said, "Right, I want to sign up. I want to do your 6 months support and guidance." So she did my 6 months support and guidance package. We did it for 6 months. She loved it. We went through her expenses, including all of the school fees and all of the things that go along with kids. And then we put her income in. And she actually had excess income. So she never needed the second job. And wow, it is awesome. And she started paying off her mortgage quicker because she had, she had more money in the bank than she thought. So she never got the second job. But I think what is very sort of important to note in this story is that she won Employee of the Year that year in her job. Now, she'd worked there for years, same job, but she got Employee of the Year because people said, "Oh, you've stepped up it, like you're smashing it. What's going on?" And she's like, "Oh, And then her kids said to her, "You're not as angry with us anymore. Like, what's going on? Like, you're not as crabby and blah, blah." And the one of my favorite bits about the story is she used to get a bonus every year from this company where she'd worked forever. And the bonus thing came about August or September. And she always paid off debt with that money because there was always school fees to pay, or the credit card still wasn't paid off, or somebody needed something. And after the 6 months of working with Spending Made Easy, when she got that bonus, it was all hers. All of it was hers. And she was asking me advice about what to spend with it because she was ahead with her mortgage. She paid the school. She was ahead with the school fees as well. Or she was sleeping better at night. Her kids were happy, and she won Employee of the Year. Now, that's no coincidence to me that it all started with a chat about how I can help. And it was it's a system, it works, it's income versus expenses. And once you know what you've got income versus what's going out, then we just deal with it. And it's really good. Yeah, and she's a fabulous client, and she did a film testimonial. So I'm not speaking out of turn because she's actually said this on film. So yeah, so, and I've got so many stories, and some of my favorite ones as well are people who don't want to share. They don't want to be filmed because, you know, there's a certain amount of shame and, you know, shyness attached to getting help with your budgeting, but it's not taught in schools. It's not natural to everyone. You know, it's just the way it is. We're good sometimes, you know, I take my car to a, you know, to a mechanic, and he looks under the bonnet and goes, look at that, that's filthy. And I go, it's a car, but shouldn't it be filthy? Like, you know, like it's oil. And, you know, anyway, but yeah, so I pay somebody to do my car. So why wouldn't you pay somebody to help you with your finances, particularly if you get a result? You know, if you're here and you want to be here and you can't do it by yourself, then you have to pay. And that's like me with my car. If my car breaks down or starts going faulty, I need to pay someone so that when, you know, and then I can continue to use my car. I continue to get about. I continue to, you know, live and go to work and do all of the things, go and see my clients, go away for the weekend or whatever in my car. But I have to pay for it to be maintained. It's just another service that we pay for. And I don't think there should be any shame or embarrassment attached to it either.
No, and even in my industry, I'm not sure. I might need you to mute your mic for just a second there. I'm getting an echo, but it might be. I'm not sure if it's my end or your end, but okay. Yeah. So, and in my industry too, like there's a million different ways to manage your money, right? Like, and there's all these self-serve options and all that. And I'm not cutting any of those down. All I'm saying is that. Sometimes it's, even if you know how to do it yourself, it's more efficient of your time to pay a professional to do it for you, because the time you're spending doing that, you're not spending focused on your career or on building your business or on time with your family or whatever other parties that you have that you want to look after as well. So great point. Absolutely. 100%. So that's a great example. I love that story, and I'd love sometime to get the testimonial from you, or have you share it, and I reshare it or something, because I'd like my audience to be more familiar with that story and that woman, because it really is more common. You mentioned people being shy about their money. It really is more common than we want to admit, or then it's happy to admit, right? That how many people struggle with money, and you could be in finance, you could be an accountant, you could be all kinds of things that you think, well, that person's obviously really good with money. Look at what they do for a living, and it doesn't matter, right? It's about your identity, it's about your habits, it's about your choices, it's about your impulses, it's about your sometimes your addictions, right? It's lots of things affect your ability to to manage money. So
yeah, I've got a client at the minute who's a recovering drug addict, and he admitted, in his story at the start, and he said, I've got like a team of people behind me. I've got counselors, I've got psychologists, I've got, my groups that I go to. And he said, I'm moving forward with my life. And he said, but I've got this big business, and he earns a lot of money. And he said, I just need help organizing my finances. And he said, I've got a team around me, but I don't have anybody helping me with that side of things. I said, I'm happy to be on your team. And he's absolutely smashing it now. He absolutely loves it. And yeah, it's great. And one of my shy people is a nurse who I met through a friend. And I'll never forget, like, this is years ago, we got introduced and I helped her. She'd just separated with her husband. She's actually remarried to somebody else now, which is how many years ago it was. But yeah, and she said to me, she did my 6-month program, sorted her out as well. And then she sent me a text once that said, I've got like $1,300 in my bank account and I get paid today, and I haven't been paid yet. Like, how have I got this money? Like, where did it come from? I was like, it's not, it's just the way it is. Like, once you start monitoring it, you know, it's great. But she doesn't want to be filmed, she doesn't want to be named, she just wants to get on with it and use it. And that's fine, you know, it's each to their own. But yeah, it's good. I do have quite a few film testimonials. So yeah, I'll happily share them with you, Corey.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. That's awesome. And if you can tell one, you had on one of the slides that I showed at the summit, I'm going to show a different slide today for you, but I do have I'll take that down because it's been up for a while. But where did it go? But on the one slide you showed the gentleman, I think he was a miner, like worked in the mines, and he paid off his I think $150,000 of debt or something.
Yeah.
Can you tell that story? I don't want to give it all away. Can you tell that story as well?
Yeah, and he is actually, he's one of the ones, because he's a big apparently is a mining expert in WA, in Western Australia, where a lot of the mines are, and he raved about it, and that quote is in a text that he wrote to me, and I said, oh, can I share it? And he's going, no, you can't put my name on it. Like, I've got a reputation, you know, if my employees knew that I was getting help, I would be a mess, because I have to talk to them at HR level, I have to talk to them about their pay and their this, because they can't know I'm getting help. So I pretend that he's like, I just make up his name now, because, well, I call him anonymous because, you know, he wants to remain anonymous, but he knows that I share his story. But he said, just don't say my name or my surname, because I'll just die of embarrassment. And he was laughing about it. But yeah, so I think he was in, because I said to him, I didn't even know, because I don't know if you know, Western Australia is a 4-hour flight from South Australia. So I've never met him. He's only ever done my DIY package. And he said, so we used to just text, how you going, Laura? And he told me all of this. And yeah, I'm pretty sure he paid off 100,000. He'd saved up 100,000 because he was, I didn't even know how old he was. And I think he said he was 40 or 42. And he was saving up for his first home, but he paid off all his debt, and he still had excess money to pay for his first home, just using the spending plan. And he did the DIY package because he said, I'm a very smart man. I know what I'm doing. I don't want anybody to know I'm doing this. And then that quote that I gave you is literally a text. It's a snapshot of a text. So I promised I would never say his name, so I don't say his name.
That's awesome.
I said to him, I'm sure your employees don't care, but he does. So
yeah, exactly. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. So you mentioned the DIY package. If we can just review that again. So you have the DIY package is for people that are, they're maybe good with math or numbers or whatever, but they need some guidance, but they can do it themselves.
Yeah.
And then what are your other packages that you offer?
So we have 3 packages. We have the DIY package, and we have a year package. The year package is for the very, very complex and needy people. Very few people do that. The majority, like my single mums who we've spoke about, they do the 6-month support and guidance package. So whatever situation or financial, issues you have at that time, then we work together, we draw a line in the sand, and we get a clean slate, and we work forward for 6 months. So we work together for 6 months, and we have a money back guarantee on the 6 months package. So if I don't save you what it cost you, I'll give you your money back, and I've never given anyone their money back. And in 10 years, and we work together, and we write things down, and we write goals down, and we go into the nitty gritty, and and people say, oh, this is hard work. We go, no, but you're only doing it once, because once it's done, it's done. Yeah, because you're just editing it then with your gas, your electric, your rates, your whatever expenses you've got, your phone bills, your health insurance, all of that. We dig it all out, we know what's what, and then we work forward. So the 6 months is for people who need a bit of hand holding and maybe a bit overwhelmed and stuff, and need to know. And I do have a bank structure that I suggest if they need it. But if anybody ever says to me, I just want to use that software because it sounds really good, because it is some cloud-based online software, then I say, well, do the DIY package. So you get exactly the same with the DIY package as you get for the 6 months, but without any support or guidance. But it does entitle you, you do get 3 hours of my time to make sure that you're using it correctly. you're getting the best out of it, and you're navigating it correctly and how to move it forward. So many people say to me, oh, how long does it take? And it's however long you like it literally can be updated in 2 minutes a week. So yeah, it's really awesome. So yeah, and I've been in financial planners' offices and mortgage brokers, and they've said to me, I need this for my clients, but I'm going to do it too. So, and then they sign up. So I've got police officers, financial planners, mortgage brokers, bookkeepers, all walks of life, all of them. Yeah, it's just a system, and it's great.
Awesome. And it's usable around the world?
Pardon?
It's usable around the world?
Yeah, it's just any currency. It's just an Excel spreadsheet basically on steroids, but there's very pretty graphs and things, so you can see exactly where your expenses are going. There's a pie chart with all your expenses, and there's it tells you when you're going to go overdrawn. If you go over, like you said earlier, if you're earning $100,000 a year, but you're spending $120,000 a year, then you can see when you're going to go into the red. But if you are bringing in more, it will tell you. You can see it's little graphs, but it goes for 10 years as well. So that, if like my lady that we said earlier, the one who thought she needed a second job, she only had I think not a lot left over at the fortnight. It's like $50 or $100. And she said, I'm going to pay that to my mortgage. But her graph will have shown the 50 or 100 going up and up because it goes for 10 years. So, and you live in the green. So as we know, do you say you're in the red if you're overdrawn in Canada? Yeah, you're in the red. So yeah, so it goes red if you go overdrawn, and it's green if you're in credit. So yeah, it's really, and then the good thing is it gives you the opportunity to do something about it before you get there. So if you think, oh God, I'm going to go overdrawn in 3 months' time, but it's only because I'm paying the credit card on that day, or it thinks I'm filling the pantry, or filling the car up with fuel, and just juggle a few things before, and then or when depends when your payday falls, and then you can live happily ever after because you just changed a few things.
Awesome. That's amazing. So a couple of minutes a week to update it.
Yeah.
Right. And how long does it take to set it up initially? I guess it depends on the person, but generally.
Yeah. So if I have young clients who've not got many expenses. So, they've just got their gym membership and their phone bill, but, and I've got clients who've got, more than one investment property. So they've got more than one mortgage, they've got income coming in. They might want to set things up separately because, that's how they've structured it. So if people are happy with their bank structure and they go, I've got my 3 accounts and I love it, or I've got my 6 accounts, so that's fine. We can deal with that. But often when they're working with particularly when we work together in the 6 months, I don't really need that account, do I? Because everything's coming out of that one. And it's easier if I do that because, and I'm not transferring as much. So people just arrive at their own plan that's best for them. And, and as we know, everybody's head is different, deals with things differently. So, I've got one of my clients has got about 10 or 15 accounts and he just loves them, and he's got more. And I go, my head can't cope, but we do. But he loves it, and that's what we do. But I couldn't have that many accounts, but I've probably got more than people think. But yeah, it's whatever suits. We can adapt to anything.
That's cool. Well, and I guess in that 3 hours of coaching, you can help set all that up.
Exactly. Yeah.
Excellent. So I'm curious, just for those again that weren't in the summit, what really motivated you to go down this path? Because budgeting is such ubiquitous, right? And this is a different take on it altogether. Not maybe all together because it's still money in and money out, but you've come at it from a whole fresh angle. What kind of started you down that path that got you excited about showing people how to do this?
Yeah. Well, as you said at the start, I'm originally from England, and I was a qualified financial planner back in England back in the day. And then I ended up moving to Toulouse in the south of France with a guy that I was with, because we move for love, don't we? Hey, but anyway, so we did. I moved to Toulouse in the south of France for 7 years, and we both ended up working for British Aerospace. And then we broke up, and That's another story for another podcast, another live. But yeah, and I ended up working for British Aerospace. They needed somebody to come to Australia for 2 months, and 2 months went to 6 months. Anyway, but I've always done logistics or finances or things where things have to be in the right place at the right time, because I used to do aircraft spare parts. So it was all aviation, and yeah, everything had to be in the right place at the right time. But I've always done budgeting. I've always looked after the money. Like when I was growing up, because I've got a brother and a sister, we all used to, when we got older, we used to, say for Christmas Day, we would all go out to save our mum cooking for us all on Christmas Day, or us cooking on Christmas Day. We paid for a hotel to go out for Christmas Day dinner. And that was not cheap, you know, because it's Christmas Day. And I used to say, right, well, why don't we just save up all year for it? Like, instead of whinging about it the week before. So I would had them a little book before then. I'm pretty sure I'm showing my age now, but it was ages ago. So I had my little book, you know, where you ticked off people's money, and my brother and sister would give me £5 or £10, and I'd go, right. And then by the time Christmas came around, we had enough money to, you know, to pay for the meals and the drinks and stuff. And we didn't miss it because we weren't going, oh my God, we've got to find all this money for our Christmas Day dinner. So it's just little things like that. And I thought, so eventually, so I've always budgeted all my life. And if I'm ever in a restaurant and people always say, how much do I owe, Sam? You know, I haven't had any wine, and there's a load of people. I just go, what about this? What about that? And I've always got the ideas with the numbers and how to solve things. And yeah, so eventually I was made redundant from British Aerospace, which was fine. And then I had a year off. And I just thought, I'm going to start a business doing something that I'm really good at. And I took a time to think about what I was really good at. And I went through a few things, and I was like, oh, maybe, you know, I'm good at listening. Maybe I'll be a counselor, or I'm good at this and that. And then somebody introduced me to the Spending Planners Institute. And then I went down that rabbit hole and never looked up. It was great. So yes, I'm part of the Spending Planners Institute, and we have spending planners all over the world. And I'm Spending Planner of the Year for the 3rd year on the trot, and nobody's ever won it 3 years. So yeah, I am the busiest spending planner. Thank you. Yeah.
Kudos. Let me put something in the.
Pat myself on the back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I love it. I absolutely love it. And it's just a system, and it's just great. So yeah, I love it. And I no matter how, you know, how time goes, or if clients don't sign up because they're reluctant, or, you know, you have a particularly lean period, I never think, oh, I'm not doing this. I just know I'll do it forever. So yeah, I absolutely love it. And all those stories that I said, you know, the ones who are shy or the ones who don't mind being filmed, those people are the reason that I do it, because it just turns lives around. If people, imagine doing a job, and you must be the same, imagine doing a job or having a business where the end result is people sleeping better at night and being in a better mood with their kids and living a better life, just happily, just in general, feeling better about themselves. There's no better way, I think.
Absolutely. Well, you mentioned that story about the single mother who, you know, her kids came to her and said, hey, you're not yelling at us anymore. And
yeah.
And the way that I express what I do and what I like to do is, you know, you have a business owner in a typical entrepreneurial family. One's the business owner, the entrepreneur, the other, the spouse is not, and they often don't even get entrepreneurship. It's like a weird defect in the other person. They don't understand it, right? And so there's this tension, right? But they love each other. They you know, okay, we've got a future together, and so they get together, and you know, the entrepreneur, they're not just their identity, it's their DNA, right? And the other person often goes and gets a job that they don't necessarily love. Sometimes they hate it, but they sacrifice to get a job so that the family and eventually the kids can have benefits and, you know, their teeth done and all that. Well, if the business doesn't thrive, eventually the tension between the two of them overcomes whatever initially brought them together, right? And so, and you know, there's tension about money. They're not communicating because the business isn't doing well, and so, you know, it's like it sort of deteriorates. So I go into, my goal is, what I do is go in and help the business owner first to turn around the business, to create the business in such a way that, it's profitable, it's sustainable, it's growing, et cetera, and starts to turn that corner, so that, that takes financial pressure off the couple and the family, takes emotional pressure off, relational pressure off. And eventually the spouse goes, well, things are going really good over there now. I can go and do my thing. I can quit this job I hate. I can do my own business. I can level up my career to do more, or whatever. And one day, Jimmy and Johnny say to each other, hey, mommy and daddy aren't fighting anymore. This is really cool, right? That's why I do what I do, right? And so the thing that motivated me to launch the summit, was about one specific part of what I do, which I'll talk about briefly in a minute. But the bigger picture of what I do is help entrepreneurial families and other families to create that financial margin in their life, to create financial stability and financial growth, and those kinds of situations and relationships where they can fall in love again. They can, this may be a bit pie in the sky or whatever, but if the finances are looked after, that takes care of the financial part that usually breaks up families. And when your finances are good, you don't mind talking to each other because things are good, right? There's no financial stress, so there's less reason not to talk to each other or not to have honest, open conversations. So it sort of, backwards affects the things that tear families apart and helps bring them back together. So anyway, so that's, I love it. We're simpatico, as they say.
We are on the same page.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So awesome. So we've talked about what motivates you to do what you do. We've talked about how you help people. We've talked about some great examples of people you've already helped. Now I put the link up there a couple times, but what does working with you look like? I know there's different ways to do it, but like, let's say someone wants to work with you. They don't want the DIY. What is the first thing that happens when they contact you or reach out, or they click the link or scan the QR code? What's the first thing that happens? And then once you decide to work together, what's the next thing that happens?
Yeah. So I always have like a discovery chat or whatever, so people, because it's important that I want to work with them as much as they want to work with me. So so we have a chat and I'll listen to their story. I'll listen to like the lady that I spoke about earlier when we caught up. I listened to her troubles and her breakup of her marriage and how she was, struggling to make ends meet. And sometimes it's just about being there and listening to people's stories. And then I share with them what I do. And if the two align and they think, I need that in my life, and I think, I can definitely help you, then we do a process. So there's generally it's all via email and it's steps. So I send them steps via email. So every client who works with Spending Made Easy signs a sign-up form and a disclaimer. So the disclaimer is just acknowledgement that I'm not a financial advisor and that anything I say is merely suggestion. And then there's a sign-up form. Now, I didn't mention it earlier, but whether you do the DIY package, the 6 months or the year, there is just a $20 Australian dollars a month fee for ongoing access to the software. And it includes quick fix phone calls to me. So if somebody forgets their password or something's not sitting right, I don't start churning out invoices for 5-minute conversations. I just sort them out and that's all good. So many people say to me, $20, that's like my coffee bill is more than that. So they see it as just a small investment for continued access to the software. So so for example, with the 6-month package, once we've got the sign-up form and disclaimer, then I send them step number 1. And then when they say they've done step number 1, I send them step number 2. And basically, it might be watching a video. It might be asking how many bank accounts they have. It might be a little questionnaire, various things, and it's all baby steps. And after about 7 or 8 steps, we're set up. And in those steps as well, I suggest that we catch up either via Zoom or if they're in Adelaide in person, and I make sure they've got it all structured correctly. And then we just work together and monitor it, and I check in with them over 6 months, and we catch up, make sure they're on track. We look at the goals, which is one of the questions, is your 3 goals that you want to work, what you want to achieve, and we make sure they're on track with their goals. And they acknowledge as well with the 6 months support and guidance package to be open to suggestion, to be open to new ideas, to be getting rid of bad habits, developing new ones. So we work on all of that for the 6 months. And then hopefully at the end of the 6 months, they've learned enough to just do it by themselves. It's just like teaching somebody how to ride a bike. Eventually, they'll just go off and cycle, and they didn't need you. So, so then they just continue paying the $20 a month. The DIY package is exactly the same, but without the support and guidance. So you get exactly the same thing. You still do a sign-up form, you still do a disclaimer, and you get all of the thing. But the assumption is, because you told me you were fine with your money and you didn't want my support or my guidance, then you just follow the emails. They're 4 emails. I compacted them, 4 emails, and they get on with it. And then they can use the 3 hours of my time. And to be honest with you, Corey, very few people use the 3 hours because it's very straightforward, very, very straightforward. So yeah, that's what it looks like. So in my world, whether you have to get access a spending plan, you have to either do a DIY package, the 6 months or the year. But once you've done it, you just spend it. And in my world, as long as all my clients are just paying the $20 a month and know that they can contact me at any time, then that's fine. And that's what we do.
It's almost like you make spending easy.
I know, right? Good name for a business.
You should call your business that. Awesome, cool. Well, I've been putting the links for your Calendly on the screen. I'm going to just see if I can quickly get my the other backgroundy thing there, because we had figured that out before we went live. There we go. So I'll step out of the way if anyone wants to take a screenshot of that. Just so you know, this link here is the one I've been putting on the screen. So, but it goes to that QR code if you'd rather scan the phone in a QR code. And I want to get out of the way of this quote here too, because I love this quote from Patricia, right? I now feel like my goals are achievable. I mean, what's the point of having goals if you don't feel like you can achieve them, right? Like, that's a really powerful thing that you provide her and that you provide your clients is not only the ability to, can you actually see that? I'm in. Oh yeah, you can. Okay. Let me just, let me take you off the screen just for a second so I can show the whole thing. I'm not sure how else to do that. I apologize. So there we go. Screenshot, new screenshot. Okay, I'll add you back. Yeah, I just wanted people to have a chance to screenshot the proper thing there. So I'll remove that now. But yeah, I mean, like it's like some people have money, but they don't feel good about it, right? And because they don't have clarity around what that means, right? What having $1,300 in your account when your paycheck hasn't even entered your account yet. It's like you said, we didn't learn that in school, right? So people don't know what to do with it. So it's good that you not only help them create the financial margin, but you help them see basically hope for achieving their goals, which is awesome.
Yeah, and it is what it is. I've got clients who didn't necessarily have got more coming in than going out. And it's actually a good friend of mine. She did one of my workshops and she was like, had her head in her hands going, oh my God, I'm like living way beyond my means. And she was a single mom. She's got 3 children. And this is years ago. And she said, I actually need more money coming in. There's no 2 ways about it. I need more money coming in. And she went and got herself a job at the bakery on a Sunday because that was the only time, but Sunday pay was better and she still works at the bakery because she loves it.
Yeah, awesome. That's the way to do it, right? And to get to do work you love is even better, right? So
absolutely.
Awesome, cool. Well, is there anything else that you want to say or you want to share about? I want to touch briefly at the very end, about something I've got coming up, but I don't want that to be the focus. Is there anything else you want to share or you want to say, or anything while we have here?
Only we haven't mentioned that I've written a book.
Right. Thank you. The book.
Yeah, which was called Budgeting is Crap. Because it is, and as we know, the word budget invokes negative feelings. You immediately start thinking of things that you want that you can't have. It's like the word diet. As soon as you say diet, you go, oh, God, no, please. And so one of my biggest, best decisions was calling my book Budgeting is Crap, and that's supposed to represent some sort of toilet bowl, I think. But anyway, and there's some work pages at the back. You can work out what kind of spender you are. But it's just a little story about me, and there's the story of the saving up for all year for Christmas lunch is in here. So and it was a bestseller when it first came out. So I'm very, very proud of that. And I'm also a podcaster. I'm on a radio show in Adelaide, Podcast City Radio, and we got told that we were, I think, number 102, I think, basically 100. Of podcasts for finance in Australia, which, first of all, I'm not going to lie, Corey, when I first read that, I thought 100, you get excited about being first or second, not 100. But then I thought about how many podcasts there are in Australia. Pretty sure there's more than 102. So when you think there'd be thousands and tens of thousands, so then I got excited.
Awesome.
Yes.
Well, there are millions of podcasts, and like something like 75 or 80% of them, they don't do more than 10 episodes. So this will become, as long as the audio and everything works out okay, and it's a bit windy here now, so I hope that's not going to interfere, but as long as this works out okay in the recording, this will become I think number 22 or 23 in the series of my podcast. And I've started doing it. I've sort of not trying to cheat it, but I sort of cheated a little bit by putting the audio version and the video version up as well as 2 episodes, and I still have more than 10. But my point is, some people really like the video ones are more popular than the audio ones.
Yeah.
For whatever reason now, so that's why I do both. But anyway, so this will become an episode of that too, and I'm excited for you for your podcast. That's amazing. So it
is
102 of anything in the podcast world.
Yeah, it's good. I'm very pleased. I'm very proud of it. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, and and we only do it every fortnight on the radio, and it's just a bit of fun. And I've done it for about 5 or 6 years now.
Yeah, awesome. I'm just going to add your book title here in the thing here, because I forgot to do a slide for that. So let's just add that in there. Budgeting is crap. There you go. And now I know that you, back in the summit, you gave, I think, a copy of your book free to anyone who registered for the summit. If I recall correctly, and people can still take advantage of that. That wasn't the main thing I wanted to share about today, but if I have the link here, I'll share it, because people can still sign up for free and still get your book and all the other speaker gifts for free. And I don't see it in there, so I'll create a real banner real quick here. Wealth Excel. I'm going to spell Accelerate. Acceleration Summit, I think it was .com. I think that was it. I should double check that. Since we are live. Wealth Accelerator Summit. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me get that off there. It's wrong. Wealth Accelerator Summit. That makes more sense, because my community I call the Wealth Accelerator community. I'm sorry, I was up till 2:00 last night, or 2:00 in the morning last night at a friend's place. He had a barbecue, and it was an epic barbecue. Like, he's had them before, but this one was the biggest one.
That sounds like fun.
That I've been to, yeah. So anyway, so there's the link for that. Anyone can go there, still sign up for free. get Sam's book for free and get all the other speaker gifts for free as well. So if you do that, of course, you'll be onto my email list, and I won't spam you, but you will hear about different things that I offer from time to time. One of which I'll just mention briefly here is you can go to this link at canada.coryvance.com, and that'll take you to my brand new landing page for my new event, which is coming up. It's only for Canadians. I'm sorry, Sam, you can't come. I'll have one made just for Australia, promise, in the near future.
Yay.
I'm going to do that. So, but this one is for Canadians only, and so basically, this is where I reveal. I mentioned a little bit ago earlier in this Zoom in this meeting that what I launched in this summit was the core version of my greater financial strategy that I do with every client. So if you have a business, I include that. If you don't, I don't include that. But this is the core of all the strategies, because this is the one that helps you ensure a seven-figure tax-free, ideally depending on the country, but in Canada, 100%, you can have a seven-figure plus tax-free retirement account and live off that with 6 figures of tax-free income every single year during retirement, while your tax-free retirement account continues to grow. So I'm going to talk about that at this link at this event. It's a 4-day event starting Monday, July 27th, and going to Thursday, July 30th. This is going to be the first iteration of this kind for this event, 4 days, and it's going to be unique, and it's going to be interesting and a lot of fun. And you're going to get to see, if you're Canadian, you'll get to see something that no one else in the world can do with their retirement accounts. And so I'm excited to show that to my Canadian fans, but and friends and future clients. But I do have an international version of it, which can be used anywhere in the world, including Canada, but I don't offer it in Canada because the Canadian version is so unique and has this extra layer of protection that's really, really nice for Canadians. So, but anyway, for the rest, those of you the rest of the world, I do have a version for the rest of the world, and I will get an Australian presentation together, because your super and your different things are a little bit different. They're taxed a little differently. So I want to get a clear picture for Australians to see how they can use it too. So we'll be back together before then probably, but certainly when I have that together, we'll chat again, and I'll show it to you, and then I'll show it to your audience ideally, and we'll see if we can help some people create more than just the margin in their life, but a very, very vibrant retirement account. So
that's what we all want, isn't it?
Absolutely. That's the link for that. It's been up there long enough. So if there's any last call or last statement you want to make, you can make it, Sam. But otherwise, that's all I had. And
no, I'm all good. I'd just like to thank you for your embracing Spending Made Easy all the way from Canada. And and thank you for your support. I love it. Thank you. And I'll help you in any way I can.
I appreciate it. Yeah, you've already been a big help. I still am so tickled that people stopped you and said, "Oh, you were on this thing in Canada." I'll never forget that. That's awesome. So
yeah, and once when I was actually collecting a package once from this, it happened a couple of years ago. I was collecting a parcel, from the post office because I wasn't home, and the girl looked at my name and scanned it, and she goes, "I follow you," and I thought she meant stalks me, as in follows properly. And I went, "What do you mean you follow me?" And she said, "I follow you." She goes, "You're Sam from Spending Made Easy." And I went, "Yeah." She says, "I follow you. I follow Spending Made Easy." Oh, thank you.
That's awesome. That's
yeah,
awesome.
it's very sweet. It's very sweet. Yeah.
You've got a great community there. I have a friend of mine in Australia. I think I mentioned him before when we spoke, and he was my high school teacher actually. So I won't tell you how old I am because that might give away how old he is, but it doesn't matter. He's got the energy of a 20-year-old, and he's pure Australian. And anyway, I sent him the link to my earlier today live that I sent out. I sent him the link to that so that I don't even know how people, I guess there's one person watching us. Maybe that's him. Whoops, I accidentally did that. There's one person watching us, but anyway, that's okay. People can watch the replay and they'll listen to it on the podcast too. But anyway, thank you so much, Sam. It's been amazing as always having you. here and visiting with you again. And I can't wait to see what because I know you're going to share the podcast episode as well. So
Yeah,
it'll probably my most popular podcast episode ever. So anyway, it's been great. I loved it, and I look forward to chatting with you again soon. And thank you so much. It's been fantastic.
No worries. Thanks, Corey.
Awesome. Thank you. Cheers. Thanks, everyone, and our one live watcher. Thank you. All right, here we go.